Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to C.A.R. Entertainment. I'm your host Dylan Hamilton, and today guys we're going to be talking about ethics in the context of business ethics and how an organisation will have to operate ethically in order to maintain customers, because obviously customers want to go to an ethical company. But we'll talk about ethics as well from a general standpoint. And this is all a part of our A22 Business House revision videos, and let's get straight into it then. So, an introduction. Well, what are ethics? Ethics are a moral guideline which govern good behaviour. That's what we define it as for business. And the ethical principles that you will see defining and that will come up in business a lot is that it defines what's acceptable conduct, so how you handle certain situations and how you handle your production, your customer service and all of that. Ethics underpin how your management makes decisions, so it only really affects your management mainly. So ethics are about what's right and wrong, whereas law is about what is lawful and what is unlawful, and that may be tricky to understand, but essentially ethics cannot be punished by law, but law can. So obviously if you break a law then you can be punished for it, but ethics you can't. You're just going to face consequences in terms of some customers might feel a certain way. So an ethical decision is one that is both legal and it will meet a shared ethical standard of the community. So you're really trying to think of your ethical standards within the community. The different acts that a business may need to abide by, this is according to law, not just ethics, but it's the Fair Employment Code of Practice, the NI Act, the Northern Ireland Act, the Disability Discrimination Act, Sex Discrimination Act, the Equal Pay Act, Fair Employment and Treatment Act, and then the Race Relations Act. So CSR, and they'll have our own video for corporate social responsibility as well, that's what it stands for. It can be linked to ethics because a socially responsible firm should be ethical, and an ethical firm should also be socially responsible. The distinction between CSR and ethics is that CSR is about the responsibility to every stakeholder, whereas ethics is about the morally correct behaviour for everyone within the business. Now, how can you implement ethics into your business? Well, to ensure you act ethically, you will implement a code of practice which will cover these areas. It will cover your corporate social responsibility, your dealings with customers and your supply chain, so your customer service and your supply chain for your suppliers, how you're going to get suppliers, so if you're going to be organic materials, etc., etc. Your environment policy and actions, so what you're recycling, where's it going, and your rules for personal and corporate integrity as well. You will have external pressures to ensure you operate ethically, and these come from pressure groups which will focus on activities and they will combine direct with indirect action, which then can damage your target industry, and also through direct consumer action where consumers will take action against businesses that will act irresponsibly. Consumer action can be positive, however, though, by supporting businesses with strong ethical stances such as Body Shop only sourcing products that weren't tested on animals. That is positive consumer action. So the advantages of ethical behaviour then is that if you operate ethically, you'll usually get higher revenues with an improved brand image, and then more people overseas will see you, so your brand awareness will increase. You'll have a better employee motivation, so therefore productivity will include, and recruitment as well, because more people are going to want to work for you, therefore you'll get the best people working for you. The disadvantage of ethical behaviour, though, is that it's usually higher cost for both yourself as the business and your consumers, such as fair trade. The higher overheads, such as you want to train people to operate in an ethical way, and the danger of building up false expectations as well. Thank you for watching this video from C.A.R. Entertainment. I've been your host, Dylan Hamilton, and I will see you next time.